Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, before we do begin, let's give a brief little review. In the last part, a number of things have happened. We had Deku. We also had Barbara Gordon. Now, Deku has been trying to approach her to get closer to her, and he's been going to therapy. He never really thought he'd say those words. Seeing a shrink was never really in the cards for him. I mean, Bruce tried so many times to get him to open up. And here he's opened up. Yes, he's changed very little details. But the important things, sadly, they're true. Deku told the story. And he's even heard the story of Barbara. The two have been getting a little bit closer. I mean, they've actually gone out for coffee once or twice. And they've even tried talking about it. Barbara finds it to be nice. There are some people that she does get together with from the group, and she does try to talk to, hang out with, and help. I mean, they're all here for each other. They're a little community. And, well, their pain is what binds them together. They share it. And Deku? He actually is a bit more surprised. This being the third time him and Barbara, they actually do have at least a cup of coffee together. Now, Deku, he does slightly comment on it. Him going to lower his mug and tell Barbara. He does have a question to ask her, though. Hmm? What is it? I'm sorry to change the subject like this, Barbara, but I've been meaning to ask. You said the Joker, he's the one who shot you? Yeah, he was. Deku seeing her face drop. He sees it. She does going to tilt her head down. Her messy hair is all going to move down to the side of her face and lay there, floating in the air. Barbara going to express. Her going to sip her coffee and then going to lower it down again. What happened with the Joker? Her going to look up. Deku seeing the partially messy bun. It's complicated. I don't like talking about it or really diving too much in depth. It's just the abuse. What he did to me after he shot me. I don't like to think about it. I I still remember lying there with the shards in my back, the bullet, and unable to respond. I just felt helpless. And then after all of that, he humiliated me. I can relate. Hmm? What do you mean? My father. The one who put this scar on my head whenever I cracked my skull. He had friends. Now, Barbara does go to stare at Deku. And Deku, he does try to tell her. He left this out of therapy, but he tells her about the friends. They'd beat him worse. There was a friend of his who was a doctor, and they just so happened to hook him on a few things. And Barbara, she's kind of surprised. Before Deku tried to tell her, he recovered from that, but he still does sometimes think about that stuff. Hmm? Oh my god. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I almost died. I'm just asking, do you think that killing is morally good for survival? I don't. Fuck. I don't know, Izuku. That. If it means the safety of yourself, then I guess yes, I would say so. I just don't understand the question. If you could get revenge, would you? Now, Barbara's kind of confused. The guy sitting across from her, Jason, the man she's seen as kind, polite, but willing to defend himself, willing to use a weapon. All of a sudden, he just turned dark. I mean, morally, revenge? She's thought about it before, but the Joker, he's he's too much. Now, Barbara, she's confused, trying to ask Deku about exactly why he's bringing that up. To which he would try to tell her, it's just a stray thought, one he thought about before. He just he finds some comfort in it, and he's taking a lot of that right now. He's trying to get that right now because he hasn't had a lot of it. What? Sorry, I was gonna say. No, never mind. I'm sorry. Stupid question. Just I had to ask because I think the Joker may have killed my father. Now, Diggory's gonna tell that to Barbara, and Barbara, she's shocked. That that can't be. But how would fuck? Is it Jason? I I'm sorry. I don't think I don't know how to answer the question. No, I'm stupid for asking it. I'm sorry. I just I'm scared. I am too. Now, Barbara does this, don't sit there. And Deku, he does want her to look up. Him trying to tell Barbara. He can walk her back home, maybe give her a ride. A ride would sound nice. I don't think I'm really in the mood to walk either. Now, Barbara, she does gotta get to her feet. Deku and her going to leave. And there actually is in Deku's car. The two, they hopped in, and Barbara was a bit surprised. And Deku, he tried to at least inform her. With what he does, he's very successful. And that is saying something. And Barbara, she was a bit confused. He does act humble, but this, the car, it's so, well, cheesy. That being what she does think. As the two do somewhat speed off a little in the vehicle. And Deku, he does gonna drop her off, and Barbara, she is gonna leave. Her actually somewhat gonna get out of the car and lean down, trying to tell Deku about how that was nice. She'll see her in a few days. She'll see him in a few days, right? Actually, Barbara, I was hoping to talk to you. What do you mean? Like a date. What? Barbara's not gonna look, directly at Deku, her eyes widening a little bit, with surprise. A date? I don't know. It's just, it feels a little sudden. I'm sorry. I just, I thought, never mind. It's a little stupid. No, no. Her still gonna lean forwards and say, a bit excitedly, no, she's just saying it caught her off guard, and she'd love to. The goose went smiling before telling her, all right, he'll pick her up tomorrow night, and they'll get a few things in order. And Deku, he does not go back to his work. He needs to do a few things. He needs to plan. He got Ivy's lead. He tracked it. He searched. He paid for information. And people, they suffered for information. because they wouldn't want to give it up. And Deku, he got what he needed. And there is the next day, early in the morning. Right now, Amanda's gonna get off the bus, and he does gonna someone to look both ways before walking across the street. And he does gonna step inside. Him going to set his hat down onto the coat rack, as he does go to look around into the diner. And he does gonna smile before he does sort of walk in and sit down, as there is where somebody does come walking up to him, and then looking at a man who he does look normal, with brown hair and green eyes. And the woman, she just goes to ask, "What will he be having today, hon?" "Hmm? Oh, you know, the usual." "Why do I even bother asking?" "I don't know. Honestly, I come in here almost every day. You'd think that you just have the plate ready for me. I mean, come on. It's not too cheesy." Honestly, that's a little funny. But then again, the cheese will be on your scrambled eggs, don't worry about it. It's just that they need to cool down a little, and the bacon will be out just soon. Thank you. Now, the good is going to step inside. Him going to look around. And he does get to walk directly over and sit down. Him taking a seat on one of the stools. Before he does get someone to turn his head and see the man sitting there. Him somewhat going to smile as he does get to read the paper. Now, Diggit is going to look towards him. The guy, he can't be. No, he must have made a mistake. Excuse me? Hmm? Hi there. What is it? Uh, Anything interesting? I don't know. Honestly, it's sort of confusing a bit. I mean, this new guy popping up, the Red Hood. I mean, I remember hearing a few things about him back in the day. It's a bit funny. Back whenever I was a comedian. Hmm? You're a comedian? Yes, I am. In fact, I did have to somewhat give up being a comic. Hmm? I still aspire to it as a dream, though. A little bit of a hobby, I would guess. So, do you want to hear a joke? The goose was sitting there, and the person is going to walk up. They're informing them he'll just have a coffee. Okay, a joke. All right. So there are these two guys, right? They get out of a mental institution, and they couldn't really take a lot. And one of these guys just happens to have a flashlight. They go having his eyes won't widen. No. All right. So these two guys, they're being chased down. There's cops on their tail, and they're running across rooftops. But eventually, a ledge is too far. It's too distant. And one of them, they have a bright idea. He does turn to the other one, telling him, all right, he has a plan. He's going to turn on the beam and he'll walk across. He'll toss the light over to him and he'll turn it on, and then they can both walk across. They can get over that way. And then, whenever it comes to the next building, they can do the same thing. They just got to trust each other. So what he's going to do is he's going to hold out the light and he can walk across. Now, the first guy is going to turn to the second, informing him, what is he, crazy? Now, they're going to stare at the Joker. He knows it's him. He's the only one who still tells they're going to reach down, him gritting his teeth. And there is where he does going to have his red hood, or hoodie, someone going to move back. As Deku, he does actually grab the knife and stare at the Joker. Now, Joker is going to watch Deku. He does going to throw his hand down, trying to act as if he almost slipped. As Joker, he does try and ask him, looking back at him, if he's okay. Yeah, sorry. Just the floor is a little too waxy. It just startled me a bit. Right, sorry. So, anyways, at the end of the joke, right? So, anyways, the two inmate, the two crazy guys, they stand there. And the first guy, he tells him, is he crazy? He's not going to walk across the light. I mean, he'll just turn it off whenever he's halfway across. Now, they didn't see the guy's face won't drop. He could have swore it was a better joke. Then there's Batman. Things with him are complicated. He runs around the city and does quite a bit. Does the kid think that the man's rude? I mean, he doesn't talk to people, and he's a vigilante. I don't know. They're just gonna say. Expressing to Joker. He's not too sure. Then again, that might explain why he never got those manners. Now, Joker's eyes go wide, and he does so in a turn. Before Deku, he does so sit there in his hoodie. And the Joker, his eyes go wide. And then there's his smile. He does get to flash his teeth with a smile. And he does get to stare at Deku. More shock than surprise. And then there's Deku, who does get to turn and stab that knife into the Joker's eye. And Joker, he does go stumbling backwards off the stool. And Deku, he does actually bring his hand up. Him going to pull back his left hand and pull out the knife. Him stabbing it down into the Joker's gut. As he does start to just beat the Joker across the face. Now, people, they do see what's happening. And then there's actually where this man, he punches the makeup off the Joker. His hands being smeared in it, as everybody, they do see Joker's pasty white skin. Now, Joker, yeah, he's just laughing. The boy wonders alive? He blew up a warehouse, dropped the burning rubble on him, and somehow he crawled back from the grave, and he's him, isn't he? He's the Red Hood, making dear old Dad proud. And with that, Deku, he left that restaurant. He dragged the Joker out of there as he was laughing. And the whole time, Deku just heard the voices. He heard the madness. He heard it talk to him. And then there's whenever he tried to steal a car. And Joker, yeah, he sat in the back seat, unconscious, and, well, bruised. And Deku, he was driving away fast. The police, they're going to be on his tail. However, with Joker, he needs to find a place to put him, find a place to store him. He has a few ideas. Okay, take him back to his place for right now. Tie him up, chain him up, gag him, and stuff him full of something to keep him knocked out. Alright, he could do that. No leeway at all. And the Joker, he currently does just won't wake up. Him right now in a room, as he does look through his one good eye. And he's shocked. He feels terrible. And Deku is going to open the door. Him looking at Joker, as he does go to set down a crowbar next to the door. And Joker, he has a smile, trying to ask that question. So how did the boy survive? He's more curious about that. I'm sure you are, Joker. But right now, Deku is stepping forwards and going to bend down, telling the clown what he's going to do is stay here. Then what he's going to do is he's going to go get Batman to kill him. Or, well, he could just kill him right here and right now. Honestly, the voices. He's almost tempted to listen to them. Choke the life out of him right now. But what he did for 3 years, he wants that time back. He wants all of it back. He wants these things taken from his head. He wants the Joker to feel the same pain. So Joker will feel the same pain. Deku's going to actually turn and open the dresser. And I'm going to pull out a needle before we're going to stab it downwards into the Joker's arm. And Joker just going to turn and look at that. Well, that's not very funny. It's sort of stupid. His scheme, it doesn't make sense. It's amateurish. He just plans to knock him out. Joker falling asleep. And with that being said, Deku, he does gonna leave. Right now, him and Barbara Gordon, they go out to dinner. And Barbara, she's a bit more intrigued whenever Deku, he does gonna pull up and take her somewhere nice. And with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed. And have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.